Greetings and salutations! How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of You're Not Alone, a documentary series based on the struggles of living, overcoming, and powering through depression, stress, and anxiety. Um, Hi, my name's David. Sorry, I'm lost in thought right now. I'm a bit sore, and a bit tired. I woke up pretty early, around like 7 or 8 a.m. and I started working out, going to the gym today, and I actually spent most of today outside, which is very surprising considering how I normally just spend most of my days inside. So it was a nice change of pace. Hung out with a couple friends, got a good workout in, I think, and got some lunch with them as well, and we just chilled for a good hour, or not good hour, more like 2 or 3 hours. So it was nice way to end the year. It is December 31st, and it is currently 5:17 p.m. So you know what that means. Yes, today is the last day of 2019. What a year, what a fucking decade it's been, honestly. I graduated this decade from high school, and been very roller coastery for the second half of this year, or this decade. I thought I'd take this time to reflect a little and kind of share with you guys some of my goals that I have going into the next decade and even next year, 2020. But for reflection, it's been, like I said before, it's been a roller coaster actually. I think it all went by so fast. I went through multiple stages of my life, lost and confused, with the pressure of, graduating, reality, getting, becoming a stable adult. And I think I'm kind of doing that. I think, like, earlier part of 2009, 2010, I started high school, and I was a fucking mess, honestly. I was still in that like middle school stage where, like, I just wanted to fit in, you know? I went from wanting to fit in to being able to find a group of people that accepted me for who I was. And I think that was partly due to my neighbor, Gio. He was my former neighbor before his family moved and I moved. But it's, I think, for the most part, before I met him and before I got to know him, I was really fucking weird, and I was really awkward, and I was really antisocial for the most part. I would like to say I was really childish too. Childish, immature. Um, yeah. My eyes widen as I start to remember like a flood of middle school memories. Um, I don't think I was depressed. I think I was just confused on how to interact with people, especially when I got older. When you're in elementary school, like, things are a lot different every time you move up a school, I guess. So, like, you start off in elementary school. Elementary schoolers have a way of doing things. Then you get to middle school, and then everything's fucking different. And you have to, and then high school, everyone's fucking different again. You have to basically relearn how to socialize with people, because for some reason, like, everyone's personalities just change. Um, I think it took me until, I think I had to bypass the middle school stage for the most part and enter high school. Like, I think I was literally, like, felt like I was an elementary schooler. Um, I don't think I was an actual person, if that makes sense. Um, and when I say that, I mean, like, it didn't feel like everything that I did up until a certain point in high school felt fake. Looking back on it, I felt like I was trying to be someone that I wasn't. I felt like I was hiding things, like, emotions and all this other wacky stuff. Uh, I felt like I was trying to create an image to where people like liked me, but I wasn't actually being who I wanted to be. I was doing a lot of mischievous stuff, causing mischief and whatnot. Um, when I was in elementary school and middle school, I I after fifth grade, I was basically in a sense bullying someone. Um, it kind of felt like Naruto, if that makes sense. Referring back to anime. Um, I think I felt like Naruto in a sense. In the early stages of Naruto, he was desperate for attention, desperate for approval, and so in order to get, and I think I was the same way. In order for me to get attention from everyone, I did dumb shit. And I did, I thought I could be accepted with some of my friends in fifth grade, and I did some really dumb shit, and I got in trouble a lot in fifth grade. Sixth grade, I didn't. At sixth grade was a turning point for me because I was homeschooled. I didn't go to the regular middle school, and then with all my classmates, I'm pretty sure most, if not all, of my elementary school peers don't even know who I am at this point. Um, but yeah, I kind of faded from their memory, I think, and so I I guess like in middle school I tried to do the same shit, but it's a whole new group of people, so I had to basically readjust. Um, I think I was the victim of bullying at one point, so I guess you can call it just desserts. And what I mean by bullying, I wasn't like beating people up or anything. It was more like just I wasn't telling people to like they should just end their life or anything. It was mostly taunting and teasing, um, making fun of people. But that is a form of bullying, so I won't make excuses. But it wasn't as bad as when we think of bullying, we think of like people like you know physically harming, um, mentally harming. Um, for the most part, it was very tame, but it was still considered bullying. And I regret, and I think about that every single day, just about subconsciously or consciously. It made me realize that I probably did a lot of fucking damage to that kid. And I have no idea how he's doing. Like I thought I was being funny, but actually, in reality, I was being a fucking ass. You know, like none of the stuff that I said was funny. It was more. It was. But then again, none of the shit that any elementary schooler says is fucking funny. um, but I think I got my comeuppance. I got I got my just desserts, so to speak, and I was the victim of bullying. I got made fun of for being very small, very skinny, sometimes for my race. Um, I got called a lot of different things: chicken legs, twigs. Like I didn't think of it much at first. I didn't think it bothered me, but looking back, when you grow older, you start to reflect a lot more, and you become wiser than once you were, like 5-10 years ago. Um, I think for the most part, looking back, like I think it made me really self-conscious. I felt kind of isolated, you know, um, until I met my IRL friends, who I spent most, if not all, of my high school life with. And some college as well, but I still keep in touch with them. Chris, Cameron, Ryan. Ryan and Cameron are good friends from middle school, and I've known them the longest. Chris, I met in sophomore year of high school, and he's Cameron's friend. Um, John Luke Lusty was another that was part of our group, who I also met in 10th grade, and he he was one of my good friends as well. I think Ryan, Cameron, Chris, and John are my best friends, you know? I think they're my best friends. Uh, I don't normally kind of like separate, who's like my greatest friends or whatever, but I think high school was a lot easier because of those four. Um, because like they didn't give a fuck about what I did as long as it wasn't too fucking weird. Because they were weird too, you know. Um, we were always like they enjoyed the same shit I did, not like anime, but like games, And I felt like I could actually be a part of something, and I felt like I can actually, be myself, if that makes sense. Because I think when I tried to be myself, showing my love for anime and stuff, like I was basically treated like an outsider, through elementary school, and some of middle school, um, and then like high school, I was able to be open about it, and for some reason something happened, and like they became more. Everyone in my high school became more accepting, I guess. Like they treated me a lot differently. Um, because I started hanging out with the right people. And then, I said earlier I met Gio. Gio actually helped me a lot, like behind the scenes. Oh, because he lived in my neighborhood. He was a grade above me, but because of him and his family, like I it kind of felt like I had a second family, so to speak. Something I haven't really felt like I had since like fifth grade. And I have like a bunch of other families as well. Uh, I have the Lusties, John Luke's family. I have Ryan's family, Chris's family. I would say Cameron's, but I didn't really interact with his family too much because we didn't really go over to his place. But every so often, like they would treat me with, like a human being, and they were very nice. So it was I met a lot of people, and I ended up, you know, it helped me shape up to be who I wanted to be. I didn't want to be that like bitter person who just like picking on people for a good chuckle with a couple of other people that don't really talk to anymore. Um, I think it because I started hanging out with the right people, and because like everyone that I associated myself with from high school forward, I've been pretty fucking weird for the most part, and that's pretty great because I'm fucking weird. Um, so I took comfort in knowing that like I found like a group of weirdos that I can call my best friends and family and all that. Um, Geo helped me shape up to be like this more relaxed person. I for the most part grew up in a very I wouldn't say lenient, but I wouldn't necessarily say super strict. Um, it was like a light authoritarian like rule, I would have to say. Um, and I guess it's because of my nature, that like as a human being that like I didn't want to act out because I didn't see the point in acting out. Like why should I like defy like who my parents who like who were like who teach me, provide for me and all that. Like I didn't like put two and two together and like be like I don't want to be my own, I want to be my own person. Fuck the rules, man, and like do whatever. Like I just I don't know, I didn't really see the point in like, you know, being a rule breaker, if that makes sense. Um but at the same time, not being a rule breaker like basically, it hurt my personality in a sense because I didn't really I'm not like that like outgoing. I'm not that like I guess it didn't feel like I have a personality for the most part. I think Geo helped me learn that it's okay to like just be yourself. It's okay to like like break away from rules. Like it's fine. Like I wouldn't say the family was abusive by any means. No, they were not abusive. It's just, like it gets tiring when like you're basically you're being told what to do with everything just about. Um and so you need an escape, most people, in high school turn to drugs. I fortunately was gifted enough to, hang out with other people. I went outside a lot during 10th grade, 10th, 11th grade. Uh, like we built forts. We always built forts, and it was awesome. You know, I felt like a kid even though I was in high school. I was just outside, like we camped outside one in the woods. He had a wood the wood some a little bit of woods in the back of his house, and like we camped out there sometimes. We'd spend a lot of time after homework just going outside and like creating just like these forts or whatever. Starting like a mini civilization, so to speak. Um, and that was great because like for the most part I was getting super absorbed into Xbox, because Xbox to me, video games, is my escape. Um, Times I take it most of the time I take it very far, in terms of like, you know sleeping patterns and, priorities. Back then I did a lot of Xbox before homework. I didn't fail, but like I wasn't like who I am now, and the fact that I didn't take school very seriously. Because like to me school just felt like something that like I was being forced to do. um so yeah, I didn't really take it seriously, and I wish that I did back then. But I'm taking it seriously now, so I think, the saying goes, better late than never, right? um but like I wasn't really, like, as a result for me getting so absorbed into Xbox, I wasn't really going out that much. I wasn't talking to people aside from my Xbox friends. um Geo helped change that, because I started like, because his family actually helped me get back into check. Because whenever I go to hang out, they always made us do our homework first before we did anything. So and I was in a couple classes with Geo, so like we just basically just did our homework uh for the day, because Geo's mom was a teacher at the school that I went to. So she would always be she always know what everyone's homework assignments were, especially with me and Geo, because, like I said, he's one grade ahead of me, or 1 year older than me. So like she was like my, like, like my mother, essentially. um um my mom is a free spirit, and I would like to say didn't really act like a parent half the time, because she wanted to do other things. So it was just me and my dad, but my dad was busy with work most of the time. Um, and uh, having that like other mother like figure kind of guide me uh, was really helpful and really comforting. Like, because to me back then it felt like my mom didn't really care. She wanted to do whatever she wanted, and it was very apparent when she would go on a bunch of trips, traveling the world or whatever. Or not really the world, but just like going to like take all these trips to like vacations. We lived in North Carolina, took trips to South Carolina, to the beach, Florida, and Virginia and stuff like that. Um, I went on a couple of those, but like eventually it just got very tiring just going on trips all the time, and I think I got like vacationed out, if that makes sense. That's why I probably don't go on trips a lot now, because like it felt like, I get home, I come home for like a week, and then like, there's a break period, and then, or like, school break, and then it's off to another trip, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, can I not just like relax a little bit? Um but like that helped me a lot. And before I knew it, approaching junior senior year, uh, And after being associated with Gio, who was one of the more outgoing people and at my school, like people began talking to me more and more because it's like the cool kid hanging out with like the loner in like the movies. Once you see the cool kid like associate with the I guess the loner type main character, then everyone starts just like, oh, maybe he's an actual cool guy or whatever. Um, I think Gio was one of the more popular people because he was more outgoing. Um, he was very funny and he was very crazy and wild and weird. Um, but I think because of him, like everyone started like taking notice to who I am or who I was, and then it's like they completely forgot who I was in middle school, and it's like they started seeing who I actually was. Um, Thanks to Geo, I think I came to terms with being like who I am now, or who I was at the time. Outgoing, somewhat loud, um, joking around, like not being like, because like in middle school I was very creepy. I would have to say, uh, I was like in love with a girl in middle school, and I got rejected multiple times. I was, I guess, in today's standards, I was a harasser, so to speak. I didn't take no for an answer. I think you know that was because like I watched anime, and the guys in anime basically did the same thing. Like some of the characters who I thought were really cool. Like Sanji, for example, would basically flirt with every single girl, and I thought that was okay, but apparently it's not. It's not okay. Um, so I try to bring anime into real life and in middle school, and it failed. It backfired very hard. Um, but I think then I started, separating what's not real reality, which is what I'm doing now, and then what's fantasy anime. Of course, I would love to see the two merge, but I got it right now. I think I came to terms with like, okay, like this is anime. This is what people do in anime. This is what people do in real life. You are not anime, so you got to start doing stuff that's pertaining to real life. Um, and things were really good. I think. By the time 2012 came and passed, um, 2013 hit. Um, that was where it got really bad. 2013 probably marked spiral downwards into the pits of despair. Because in 2013, my parents divorced or started the process of divorcing. Um, Now my family situation wasn't pretty stable, I thought, up until I got older. Then it just got into a lot of yelling that I guess thought was normal. I suppose. You grow up in a certain household, like you start thinking that whatever your parents are doing are normal. I don't think my parents were very like super lovey-dovey over each other like some other parents that I've known. Like my mom's basically a tomboy for the most part. She doesn't really like wearing makeup or dresses or anything. Um, and then like when I see my other friends' moms, like they're all like really girls, like they put on makeup, wear dresses, wear all these like feminine clothes, and my mom basically doesn't wear any of that. Um, so I thought it was very weird to see other families, all my other friends' moms like act like that. I'm so used to my mom acting like how she does now. Um, I thought I thought what they were doing, which it was always yelling about something, um, and I thought that was normal, so I didn't really pay attention to it at all. Um, Now I heard the term of divorcing single parents. My friend Chris that's told me about that because his family is has divorced, but his family divorced when he was a lot younger. Um, I didn't think, like I sympathized with them, but like I didn't think that would happen to me until it did. And after that, I started experiencing a ton of problems. After my dad told me one day or one night actually, um, it it got pretty bad. Um, Things were a lot different. That the mood at my house went from like kind of like anger and not like kind of like there's a certain mood, right? Like it wasn't like everyone was hated each other or anything. It was more like, like I think for the most part it just felt normal. Like it was uplifting. I come home and then like I can talk to my parents about stuff and whatever. After my dad told me he didn't love my mom and was fine with their separating, the mood just got really bad. I actually dreaded going home because things started to unravel, and the reality that I thought I knew ceased to exist for the most part. And then Geo graduated, and suddenly I didn't really have anyone to kind of go to. Like he has an older brother, but I didn't really know his older brother that too much. He came home. He was in college by the time we were in high school, graduating high school. Now he has a younger brother who I thought was my little brother, but like like go over. I didn't really go over to his house to like I guess hang out with his little brother, right? Like when I was about to graduate, he was in middle school. Like I don't I'm not going to be a 17-year-old kid like basically like finishing what he's doing and go over to hang out with like a like a 12-year-old or something. But like I'm not saying, not trying to put him down, but like that's kind of weird, right? Like I would like to hang out with people that are around my age. About when Gio left, I didn't have anyone really. Um I had my friends from school, but they weren't close to me. Like not like close as like they weren't physically close to me. Like I had to drive a great distance, or not a great distance, but I had to go out of my way to like drive a car over to their house and hang out with them. But my reality shattered, and then started getting a lot of anxiety. I think my steps into depression kind of fell into place. I soon started realizing a lot of things all too quickly. We're graduating and we're all going to go our separate ways after high school. It's true now. Like the people that I've held close or tried to hold on to for all those years are going to, go out and do their own thing. I was very upset about that because nothing would ever be the same. That's true now. Nothing is the same as what it was back then. Time will always move forward. It will never go backwards. Um, but my depression hit hard. I started getting panic attacks, anxiety. I went to school, tried to make some friends too, but like at the end of the day, it was different. It wasn't like high school where like I see them again next year. Most of my classes I took were gen ed classes, so I was in the engineering program. So most of the people in my gen ed classes not in the engineering program, they were in other programs, so I wouldn't see them ever again. And I made some good friends, honestly, like in college along the way. Um, Things got a little better my second year college, sophomore year, when I started interacting with people who I was going to graduate with, but when I got to my junior year, and I think it kind of happened like, in bits and pieces. But junior year really sucked at UNCC. The environment was just not, for me, suitable for learning. It felt like I was the dumbest kid in my group. Probably because I was going through a lot of problems now, and I started believing that I was the dumbest kid in my group. I wasn't focusing. I was playing Dota all the time. I wasn't going out much at all. I try to like focus and do my homework, but I wasn't paying attention. I guess somewhere in my mind is like, what's the point, right? Like, if your friends will bash you behind your, if you see your friends bash other people behind their back, um, for being, dumb or whatever, then like, how does that make you feel when like you're kind of in the same boat? They, can't say like, hey, like I'm in the same boat kind of deal, because then they treat you different. Kind of what happened. I guess I wanted to hang out a lot, but everyone, all adults have ways of doing things. People like to just go home. Some people have work. Some people want to just start their studying. The teachers, for the most part, didn't really promote a great learning environment where I could ask questions. My classmates after a certain point were the same way. So when I got into my junior year, it got really bad, and that was in like 2016, 17ish. Um, I was going through a lot. My depression hit a very low point. My roommates who I went with in college were, some of them were okay. Others kind of made it worse. Um, and I didn't feel like I dreaded coming home because personalities clash and all that. Some are more intense than others. And you try to do the good thing, you try to help, and people don't give a fuck. They have their own thing to do. I don't blame them, but like, it didn't make it better. My high school friends, they're all making their own new lives, and I felt like I was kind of dawdling. It was a big wake up call. What the fuck was I doing? And when spring hit in 2017, or when the new year started in 2017, I didn't eat, or I got sick when I even thought about eating. I didn't go to school because I was having massive panic attacks, massive nausea. Every step I took, I felt lightheaded, and I just wanted to like throw up, and I couldn't get out of bed. My dad had to, who works in Statesville, which is very up north from where I was, had to drive down and take me to the doctor. And I did like those kind of procedure. They put you to sleep, and then they put a tube down your throat to kind of check for like ulcers or anything, because I thought I had a stomach ulcer, but I didn't have anything wrong. Normal. And I got diagnosed with anxiety and depression by a gastro doctor. And then things began to unfold. That was officially the reality that I knew now. Mom and my brother moved down to South Carolina, 2014. and I was left with my dad, who was very old-fashioned, and he didn't believe it. He didn't want to believe it, I guess. He thought, like, like, there's no such thing as depression. You just get your slumps every once in a while, but nothing like getting up. You just gotta get up and do something. Gotta try. Sometimes you can't try. I've been there plenty of times where, like, I want to try just to get out of bed. You can't do that. Like, your mind just physically just won't let you do that. Your body won't let you do that. And I think when I got depression, everyone began treating me differently. My roommates especially started treating me very differently. Like they didn't want to deal with it, I guess. So, like, the mood changed in my apartment part. I had to drop out of school, and then at that point it was just like I couldn't go to work. So I got fired or let go. I quit. I don't remember, but I stopped going to work. Then I had to make a decision to move down here, which I took because my dad didn't want to take me. He didn't want me to nurse me back to health, I guess. He didn't see the point. He wanted me to get over my issues. My mom took me down, didn't want to see me die, because at that point, like, by the time I moved down here, I accepted death. I didn't actively try to kill myself, but I was thinking about it, and I just felt like death was coming. It was like super close. I weigh 115 pounds now. I weighed 88 by the time my mom took me home. I was super close to death, and it was bad. It was rough, and I just accepted it. I was just like, I went outside for the first time, tried to walk a little bit. I just felt so at peace with everything. And I guess that's what death's supposed to feel like, like you've done all you could. Time to just let go and die. And you've come to terms with dying. I think at that point I came to terms with it. Like, I was just like, I'm not gonna I didn't actually carry through with any of my suicide because I hate pain. And I don't want to actively hurt myself if I never attempted, but I thought about it. I think a lot of people that struggle where they hate hurting themselves, but they don't want to live. And I was one of those people. And I guess I just asked God. I'm just like, hey, this is how I die. This is how I die. And I guess I took a gamble and went to bed. Like, I guess hoping that or expecting that I died in my sleep. That way I won't feel it. I won't be awake. I'll be asleep and then, wake up in some other place. I survived the next day, and soon after, my mom took me over. It worked out for a little bit. I had to find jobs. My anxiety was getting super bad. Thought I found a job that I liked at Food Line. But I didn't. I quit that after like a year or so. Not even a year, actually. More like solid like 6-7 months. I went to a mental hospital during that time, towards the end of 2017. Yeah, 2017. Around December, I went to a mental hospital. That was an awful experience because they didn't feel like they were trying to help me. Just spouted some nonsense about like praying to Jesus and God, and how if you accept him into your life, He's gonna he's gonna save you from whatever you're going through. He's gonna give you the strength to kind of do stuff, and then they give you medicine, and then get evaluated. Uh, Truth be told, I just I just played like the obedient child, and I was released after a week. Um, I met a lot of scary people there, people who would make my depression look like nothing. They had some serious issues. Um, some were violent, some were yeah, it was bad, and I needed to get out. I got out of there, and I quit my job at Food Line a couple months later. Gave them my 2 weeks. And like 3 to 5 months jobless. I went to an actual good therapist, and I I started getting like I found people that wanted to help me. You know, it took me, let's see, from 2013, 18, 5 years to find help out, and he's they're the people that I see to this day. Helped me a lot with my issues. And I think the best part about it is that everyone that I went to, I've been to a couple therapists. They tell me what I want to hear, right? They tell me that, like, everything's gonna be okay. Just keep yourself busy. Don't think about it. Um, this My therapist is different in the fact that he'll tell me a hard reality of it. You know, he didn't make me feel bad about myself. In fact, like, he told me that everything that I was experiencing was normal, and that, I think that goes a long way, because for the most part, like, we treat depression, stress, anxiety as something that's not normal. And so when people go, undergo or going through depression and all that, like, it makes you isolated, because we I guess for some reason it's put into our head that whatever we're going through is normal, and that if you're, not depressed, then you're normal, you know um but that's not the case, because if you walk around, like, you start noticing a lot more people are depressed in your life than you may let on. After I became depressed, some of my family members opened up to being depressed and how they have to take medicine to this day. Like, I didn't fucking know about that. But, like, yeah, they opened up to me. And they said that everything will be okay. They gave me their support and all that. It wasn't enough, but, like, I started seeing things a little bit differently now. But my therapist gave me the reality of just, like, like, you're not abnormal, you're normal. And the events causing, what you're going through is what your reaction to it, which is depression, is normal. And it it felt hurtful at first, because, like, I felt like, like, he's like downgrading my, like, my traumas and my problems, but, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, it made sense. Like, no normal person is gonna, like, see that his family is falling apart. The people that he held so close and dear to him or her, like, just drift away and just be happy with it and not be sad. Like, well, I can always make new friends, or just like, well, I can always get a new family. No, fuck that. No, you're gonna be fucking devastated. That's normal. That's a normal reaction, and that's exactly what I went through. And so when I start thinking about my problems like that, it's not like I'm downplaying my problems, but, like, I'm thinking that, like, like, it's not abnormal. It becomes the norm, unfortunately. And so that helped me a lot, because for the most part, I was struggling with being normal, if that makes sense. I wasn't doing it for, like, attention or wanting to hear that I'm different or special. I didn't want to be different. I just wanted to be like everyone else, you know? And I thought everyone else was happy and outgoing and wanting to do stuff, but the harsh reality of it is that a lot of people, because of technology and all other things, like, we're not a lot of people are outgoing for the most part. And that it's normal to feel these feelings, and it's a normal response. I think because of my therapist, I began getting proper help. My other therapist would just recommend me medicine or just tell me everything will be okay, and like they gave them, or wanted a 5-star Yelp or whatever the fuck. This guy gave it to me straight. Seemed very down to earth. Like he didn't care about money or whatever. If I had like a outstanding balance or whatever, like he still would see me, like regardless. Because, and it also helped that like like the guy is basically like me. Plays a lot of games. Watches some anime here and there. Like he understood what I was saying, and that was amazing because everyone else was just like, oh, okay, I don't play games, but that sounds pretty cool, kind of deal. Like he understood, like, oh yeah, like I've heard of that game, yeah, it's really fucking toxic, right? And when I was talking about Dota, and like when I talked about esports, like in my dream at the time to become like a professional esports player, he was like, oh yeah, dude, like I understand, like they're like getting to that point is pretty tough, but like he encouraged me to do it. He didn't just say like, well, it seems like you're interested in it, so why don't you fucking do it? Like he knew what I was talking about. And despite all the hardships that people go through to become a professional esports player, he believed that I could do it because he understood what it took. A lot of other people don't understand how it takes what it takes. They just think that, oh, you just gotta play a lot of video games over and over again. But it's like that's like an overgeneralization. Like, yeah, you have to play your game constantly, but like you have to also improve and get to a good enough skill level where like you can even compete with the. And then don't get me started about like actually winning, because all this other shit, like it's a lot more complex. And so I guess they just the people in the past just say go for it because like like follow your dreams, like you got this, like the world is your oyster and that kind of shit. But like he gave it to me straight, saying like you got to be realistic with it. He helped me set up like time frames, and then he didn't like bash me or say like, ha, like I fucking knew that you wouldn't do it or anything. He just realized like, you know what, you tried, that's okay. You made the attempt, you realized it wasn't for you. Now we got to think of a new plan. Like he helped me get my life in check, and very grateful for that, because I don't think it. I think if I didn't find him, I would be a lot different than I am now. I think because of him, I'm able to think a lot differently. So I became a lot wiser. I think I became like a lot more wiser. Depression never leaves. It's a scar in your mind. It's just when you feel good, or like this is just based on my experience. Like most days I feel pretty good. Some days the depression hit, and I get very annoyed when it's just this back and forth battle of feeling good and then not feeling good. And then it gets very tiring because like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? But like I guess I came to the conclusion, because of how my way of thinking has changed, is that it's a scar in your mind, and like you can't get rid of scars. It's very hard to get rid of scars, but like you can like easily suppress it, right? Like you can cover up your scar, for example, or you can like, for if you have a scar on your face, you can put like makeup on and like basically make it go away, kind of deal. Like there are ways to deal with scars that isn't just complete removal of it. And I deem depression as a scar on your mind. You know, once you experience it, you can never be the same person what you once were. You know, it's just a deep scar. It's just a matter of how you let that scar affect you, life. You know, and it's natural for the scar to kind of take over, the darkness to in, because it's still there. It's not like it's just gonna just chill there for the rest of your life until you die, and then it's just like, oh, I guess I'm dead. No, it's gonna want to do stuff. It's gonna want to like try to be active, stretch its legs, like move around. That's what it does in your mind. The scar is its home in your mind, but like it wants to get out of its home, right? I guess some days, like it becomes too overbearing or too overwhelming, and that's okay. I've been struggling this year for, making a ton of progress, and then that scar in the mind takes over, and then, you know, I get very frustrated again, and then I have to go see my therapist, being like, hey, like, I'm having all these bad thoughts again, like, I'm scared, or tell me that, it's natural, fine to be scared, but it's normal. As long as you're not. Now, what's abnormal is thinking of a plan and actually doing something about it. No human being to actively hurt itself. Like, could you, if you didn't have depression, like, think back way back when you were a child, or before you ever had depression, would you, like, actively think, like, hey, like, I just want to hurt myself? No? No. And, like, I'm not trying to downplay, like, anyone that may not be able to control it, you know because if you start hurting yourself and you take comfort in it, that's the depression, not you. Depression, sometimes you may think that the depression is you. I know I did. I thought that, maybe deep down inside I was always this monotone, like, sad, bitter, angry person that didn't want to socialize with anyone. I thought that was the truth, and I finally discovered who I was. But I realized that it was the depression plaguing my mind. And, like, I got better in the beginning of the year. And then I stuttered in the middle, and I stuttered a lot towards the end. I'm starting to pick up my feet and walk the steps again. It's a never ending journey. It never goes away. And that's the reality of it. Something that you just have to accept. I wish things were different. I wish depression would just go away with like one medicine, like one pill, but like it doesn't. It doesn't go away. You shouldn't expect medicine to change your life. It helps. It really does help. But at the end of the day, it's all on you. You control your life. You control your destiny. You determine what you do. If you think that, and I thought that for a while that it was my parents that dictated what I did, but like, I allowed my parents to dictate what I do. I let them take control over my life. I think these words are harsh. They really are. But I think reality is harsh, you know? And the way that I think about it is that I don't think any like insult really phases me at all, because my depression comes up with way worse shit what anyone else can say to me. That's pretty bad. But like, I don't know, like some of the things that I do get like that I used to get offended about, like people telling me like, well, you just gotta try. Like I'm fucking trying. Like stop being a piece of shit. Just realize that like I can't do anything about it. Like I think I've matured from that aspect. And I'm not saying that you just have to fucking not be depressed, but like you know at some point you gotta help yourself. Therapy, medicine are not weaknesses. They they help. It's like you're going into war and you're going to take a test, for example, and you're super unprepared. Would you rather take the or you have a test coming up? Would you rather just take the test without studying, or would you rather use the tools to study to help you take the test? The tools being, the therapy and the medicine and everything else that you do. At the end of the day, like the tools don't do it for you. They help you do it. Like we're not that advanced like in real life to the point where like we can just talk to a sentient robot and it'll just start doing, or a sentient drill, like say, hey drill, dig over here like 30 feet underground. Okay, and then just no, we have to, it does it for us, right? It helps us dig, but like we have to enter the command or the program or whatever to make it dig. That's a tool. At the end of the day, like we as a person have to do the stuff and the tools, machines, and reality to help you dig, or the therapy, medicine, that those help you. But at the end of the day, you gotta challenge yourself to do it. Even if it's just waking up, stretching, waking up, taking one step out of your bed, and then going back to bed. Hey, that's one step that you took that you didn't take yesterday. Every goal that you do or everything that you do aside from just sleeping around and not doing anything, hey, I'll take that. That's a fucking win, dude. Like honestly. Don't sell yourself short. Everything that you do when you have depression is a fucking win. If you're able to get up out of bed and just take one step and not think about like your troubles for like 5 minutes before it seeps back in, hey, that's a fucking win. That's progress. It's not a lot of progress, but it's progress nonetheless. It's a very long lasting battle. Not a it's not a race, it's a marathon. That's what depression is. You gotta pace yourself enough time to heal, yourself enough preparation, enough stamina or whatever. Just like you gotta make sure that like finish. Don't treat it like you have to finish within like 5 years or whatever. I think I've grown the person I started decade as the person I am now. 10 years. Like fucking wild. I'm getting so on my road to 30s. 23, gonna turn 24 next year. And soon I'll be 30 years old. Time flies. My robotics coach always said to me, or said to us, is all about the journey. And I think I got really annoyed at that because like she would always end it like it's all about the journey, and then coach whatever, and then I'm just like really. But like looking back at it now, like it is all about the journey. The destination is unknown, but how you get there makes all the difference. Destination's the journey is what you're doing now. Rather have high hopes for the future, don't take the necessary steps in the present to get to your future. I don't know, that's just how I think. But I think that was a good summary of my reflection this decade. looking forward to another decade, hopefully becoming wiser than who I am now. Hi, future David. um, I think now I have a lot of stuff that I wanna do for 2020. Um, I have I want to work out more. I started that. I got a head start today, the day before the decade ends and the new year begins. I I want to gain weight, not for other people, but for me. Uh, I'm just way too skinny. Like I don't like being super skinny. Some people want to be super skinny, but I don't really like it. I just want to be like I don't want to be like too extreme. I want to be lean. That's what I want to do. So I weigh like 115 pounds now. So my end weight goal by the end of the year is like 125 to 130. Great weight for me. 5'7". So 5'6", 5'7". So that's a great weight for me. That's a healthy weight for me. Working out made me sore today, but it got a lot better. Then in a couple other videos, I've been experiencing some anger. So that working out made it calm me down a lot, I think. So I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna try to gain some weight. I'm gonna try to go out more as well. I've noticed that I think my introvertedness and my lack of wanting to go outside and do stuff with other people is affecting me mentally to the point where I think I'm becoming a very bad person. I think I kind of exhibit incel type vibes, and I don't want to be an incel. Um, I hope I'm not an incel, but I think I experience some vibes that go to that. Um, and I just realized that just like I always feel guilty when I like talk to people online and make things weird or whatever, especially girls. Um, so I just want to try to fight that. Um, I think it's okay to feel bitter if you've been single for a long time, but like when you, I think the difference is when you take that feeling and amplify it by 1,000, and then start believing in that feeling. I think that's not normal. Normal to have feelings, to exhibit anger, bitterness, happiness, sadness. But like another thing and abnormal and to actually like turn those feelings into beliefs. Um I don't think I'm turning them into beliefs, but I think I'm displaying a lot of those qualities. So I need to go outside and take a step back and kind of cut down on a lot of stuff. I'm going to try to focus on that as well. Always focus on mental health. I also want to focus on YouTube a little bit. I know I've only been making these videos, and I'll continue making them now. Again, sporadically. I don't want to talk about like. Well, I think I might make them monthly now, but except this time I won't be talking about bad stuff that's happened. I want to I guess summarize what I did during the month and what I'm gonna try to do next month. I guess they're kind of like vlogs. Uh, with me trying to get, I was kind of playing with the idea of getting more into YouTube, but I think I might, um, might do like a name change or whatever. Might turn this have this like my own personal vlogging channel, and then make like a gaming channel under my Twitch name. I'm gonna try to get into editing some more, so maybe these videos won't be like just talking. Make it a little bit more organized too. I'll probably go through all my videos and put timestamps. That way, like, you don't, if you have like a certain, if you're interested in like the title and what I talk about, and you want to just skip over to what I talk about, for example, then I would like to give you guys the ability to do that, because honestly, I don't expect people watching an hour-long video me talking about my problems or my feelings. So, and having to like sift through like an hour or so worth of video content just to get to what you want to talk about, or what advice you need, or whatever, like, it's kind of bad. So I'm gonna try to make it easier for you. So hopefully you guys will, you know, stay on the lookout for that. It won't happen like in a day, but I think like I'll go back through all my videos that I've made and kind of that. I'm gonna take streaming a little bit more serious. Well, not seriously, but I'm gonna be a little bit more interactive with my community in streaming, and definitely focus on school. But you know, gym, working out, going outside more, and doing stuff. YouTube, Twitch, and studying. So 5 things. 5 big things that I want to kind of focus on throughout this entire year. Dating. I know I said that like I really want to find a girlfriend and all that, but I'm not gonna worry about that now. If I can't help myself, which I currently can't right now, I don't want to I don't want to put that burden of my issues on someone else. Especially someone else that I may have just met. And you know, the saying goes, if you can't help yourself, you can't help anyone, or something along those lines. Like, I want to be able to help myself and be 100% mentally ready before I put myself out there again. And who knows? Maybe things will happen naturally, but I won't force anything now. Nothing good comes from forcing stuff. If it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. So I'm going to focus on my my problems, try to get them all situated. But if anything happens throughout that time period, then I'll let it run its course, you know? Like, I won't try to stop progress from happening, but I won't actively go search. Yeah, I think that about does it for this video. It's been a long journey, and it's gonna be even longer, but you know, it's all about the journey. You know, I'm very excited for what's in store for 2020 and this new decade. I would like for you guys to leave a comment or anything down below, if you like, just tell me what your plans are, or anything, whatever you want to talk about. I like reading them always. I do get some. So I really appreciate your guys' support. I hope you guys have a great New Year's. I hope you had a great 2019, and I hope you have a very good 2020 as well. We're not done yet. Got a lot of work to do, and I'm super excited, super pumped, and I actually cannot wait to start. So thank you guys for everything. I'm sorry that I took a hiatus for like 2 years, but I'm back, and try to be more organized. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your year, great rest of your day. If you're already in 2020, hello from the past. I hope the future is bright. But thank you guys for everything. Yeah. But yeah, guys, I will see you guys later. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next. All right, take it easy, guys.